Hey, no, next, what's going on? CJ Wilson with DoakTalk. I'm your host, here to bring you guys our fall camp positional preview, position by position. We did the same thing in the spring, as you guys remember. Pre-spring, I told you guys back there we're going to do a pre-fall, just to kind of piggyback on what happened in the spring and things like that, and kind of paint a better picture to what we're going to be looking like going into fall camp. So we're back again with this edition. And to start off, we're going to go ahead with the quarterbacks, the most important position on the field. And to kick it off, the starting quarterback for FSU this upcoming season will be DJ U, the quarterback that transferred from Clemson to Oregon State. This past year, he was at Oregon State and found his way to Florida State via the transfer portal. Just from a career standpoint, DJ U has over 8,000 passing yards, 57 career touchdowns, and 21 career rushing touchdowns. Had probably his best year of his career last year at Oregon State, tallying up to 2,600 yards. 21 passing touchdowns and 7 interceptions. DJ is a 3-to-1 touchdown to turnover ratio quarterback. And just talking to certain people and things like that, in my opinion, if you're a 3-1 touchdown to turnover ratio quarterback with FSU's defense, I think we're in perfect hands. We'll win a lot of games with that. Just for the simple fact we're scoring touchdowns, we're not turning the ball over. With how we play defense, and how I expect our running game to be this upcoming year. If you're a 3-to-1 as far as your touchdown to turnover ratio as a quarterback for FSU, you're going to win a lot of games. Just speaking about what DJ and what I saw in the spring from DJ, it was a lot of excitement. More so, I guess you could say, I won't say necessarily a shock, but a pleasant surprise as to how well he grasped the offense and how well he was, getting a hold of things and developing over the spring practices. Had some very good days. And playing against our defense, let's be honest, it was tough, to be completely honest with you. As you guys see in the spring game, our defensive backs are very stingy. They stick to receivers like glue in the man coverage we play. I don't think we'll see another defense as good as FSU's this year, especially in the secondary. We won't see another secondary, in my opinion, that has as much talent as FSU. So I say that to say this: we're getting the best reps, or the best practice, so to speak, or the best competition rather in practice. So yeah, I think it's a good thing in regards to the competition we're having. It's going to make the games that much easier for DJU. I do think Coach Mike Norvell is going to, like he always does, he says offense built for playmakers, and he tailored his schemes around the so-called whatever player it is, their skill set, right? If you look at all the quarterbacks he had over the years at Memphis, and also Florida State with Jordan Travis and things like that, it's been a different version in regards to the offense, and it plays to the offensive player strengths, the quarterback strengths. And I don't think it'd be any different with DJU. Expect a lot more chunk passes down the field. That's one of DJU's strong parts. And we added receivers too, which we'll get to that in their segment. But we added more speed to the receiver room and more guys that could stretch the room, which also, like I said, fits to the skill set of the quarterback. So I think we'll be in good hands with DJU. We'll see how he does his fall camp to try to build on the good spring practice that he had. So if you build on the spring, you compile that with the fall camp and the coaching with Coach Tony Tozarts and Mike Norvell, as far as from a development standpoint, I think we'll be perfectly fine for DJU for this 2024 season for his last ride in college football. We'll see if he can deliver us the ACC championship. Moving on to the backups, we have Brock Glenn. Brock Glenn is going to be probably the main backup quarterback for the 2024 season. A blue chip quarterback and an Elite 11 quarterback as well. If you guys remember going back to his recruitment, Brock Glenn was committed to Ohio State and ended up flipping his commitment from Ohio State to FSU. It was a interesting freshman year for Brock Glenn. He ended up playing against Southern Miss second game of the season, got hurt that game and missed the majority of the regular season, got back, and then, of course, Jordan Travis went down, and then Tate Rodemaker went down against Florida. He was thrusted into the starting lineup again in the ACC championship. Was very shaky in the ACC championship, to say the least, for his first start. Held onto the ball a lot, didn't trust things, which I understand. This is your first start ACC championship. He didn't learn that he was starting for that game until like that morning. Fast forward to the Georgia game, played against Georgia. I like what I saw from Brock individually in Georgia. Wasn't scared to let it go down the field. You saw the arm, you saw the live arm, you saw the excitement, so to speak, that the coach's staff has been raving on since he got to campus. And that didn't slow down as he entered spring practice. He was very impressive in spring practice. The coaches really loved what they saw. I wish we was able to get to see him in the spring game for ourselves and get to see, the live bullets and see how he, reacts within that atmosphere. But he was injured for the tail end of spring, so we didn't get to see him in the spring game. So I do think he would be the primary guy as far as the backup moving forward for this 2024 season. We'll see if he can continue to develop and hone that talent that everyone gloats about within the football facility. Moving on to probably the crown jewel of the 2024 recruiting cycle, quarterback Luke Kromenhoek. I mean, Luke has it all, man. This is the guy when it comes to the future FSU, in my opinion. Big time quarterback, has a lot of potential. He's new to the position as well. Didn't start until his junior year in high school playing quarterback and set all types of records for that high school, won a state championship, etc. Very live arm, big arm, can make pretty much every throw that you can imagine on the football field. Showed some good signs in spring practice, has some rust as well. I think the biggest hurdle that Luke Kromenhoek had during the spring practice was just the speed of the game, right? It's a lot different. You're talking about the best of the best athletes when it comes to talent and speed and athleticism that the country has to offer in Florida State. Defensive backs, linebackers, D line for even are running really fast, big, strong, things like that. The game is a lot faster. So you have to process things a lot quicker on the college level than the high school level, which is normal for, freshmen to say, to speed the game and things like that and processing. But I think the more comfortable Brock gets within the system and just seeing how fast the game is played on the college level, it'll be second nature. I do expect him to redshirt this year, get some development, get a little bit bigger in the weight room, learn the playbook, and probably be the main guy as far as the scout team quarterback for this upcoming season. We didn't cover this quarterback in the spring preview, but I want to definitely cover him for the fall camp preview due to the fact that I think he turned a lot of heads as well too in spring practice. This is Trevor Jackson, 4-star quarterback and the Elite 11 guy for the 2024 cycle. FSU, this was a surprise in regards to landing Trevor Jackson. He did end up walking on to FSU, if I'm not mistaken, but he's not a walk-on talent. I think it's a scholarship talent, and I believe he'll probably be on scholarship going into the 2025 year, as far as, that spring practice and things like that. But he made a lot of impressive throws and caught some attention from a lot of eyes at FSU during the short period of time in the spring practice. Like I said, talent is there, very raw. Not necessarily very raw, but very athletic and just raw as far as just the development and things like that, which most quarterbacks are coming in. But I really like Trevor Jackson and what he brings to the table, what he can bring to the table for FSU. A dynamic runner as well, big-time athlete, elite arm. So I think he's going to be an interesting piece moving forward for FSU. Trevor says he's going to have a say-so as far as the future quarterback for FSU. We'll see how that plays out. I feel like competition breeds the best. But again, we're in a very good spot in the quarterback room, if I'm not, in my opinion. And just looking at things, there's 4 quarterbacks that we will probably be having competing for the 2024 season, and all 4 of those quarterbacks are Elite 11 finalists, going from DJ U to Brock Glenn, Luke Kromenhoek, and Trevor Jackson. So that's very impressive in my opinion. All 4 of those guys are Elite 11 finalists. And also, if you want to take it a step further, Tramel Jones, the blue chip quarterback commit for this 2025 cycle, he was an Elite 11 finalist as well. So FSU does a very good job as far as evaluating quarterback talent and things like that. And also, they do a very good job of developing the quarterback talent as well. We see what they did with Jordan Travis within that short period of time. So I feel like the sky's the limit for this quarterback room, and we should be in a very good spot for this 2024 season, with DJ U being the starter and the other guys following behind him. Again, we're going to be locked in with these moving forward. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel. We have a bunch more coming up as far as these positional breakdowns as we lead into fall camp and into the 2024 season. Go Nobles.